What if claiming Social Security early at 62 could actually put more money in your pocket over your lifetime than waiting ever would? This decision is one of the biggest you'll make, and most people get it wrong by oversimplifying it. They hear a rule of thumb, they follow it, and they never really understand what they're giving up or gaining. I'm Daniel Whitmore, and over the next few minutes I'm going to walk you through the real math behind claiming Social Security at 62, at your full retirement age around 67, or waiting until 70. And here's what I want you to understand. There is no one right answer, but there is a right answer for you once you know the variables. Let's start with the foundation, because you need to understand how Social Security actually calculates your benefit. The government figures out something called your primary insurance amount, your PIA. This is what you'd get if you claimed right at your full retirement age, which for most of you watching is either 66 or 67, depending on when you were born. This PIA is 100% of your benefit. It's the baseline. Now, if you claim before that age, your benefit gets reduced. Most people think it's a small reduction. They're wrong. If you claim at 62 and your full retirement age is 67, you're looking at a 30% cut. Let me say that again. Claiming 5 years early costs you 30% of your monthly benefit for the rest of your life. The reduction formula works like this. For the first 3 years before your full retirement age, you lose 6.67% per year. Then for the 4 and 5 years before full retirement, you lose 5% per year. Do the math yourself. That's 20% for the first 3 years, then another 5% for each of the next 2. You get about 70% of your PIA at 62 if your full retirement age is 67. On the flip side, if you wait past full retirement age, you don't get a small bump, you get a real bump. For every year you delay claiming past full retirement age, up to age 70, you get an 8% increase, what we call a delayed retirement credit. It's simple interest. So at 70, if you claimed at 67, you've got 124% of your PIA. That's a 24% increase over your full retirement age amount. We're talking substantial differences in monthly cash flow for potentially 30 years of retirement. Now let's talk about claiming at 62. And I'm going to start with the hard truths before I get to the advantages, because you need both. First, there's the earnings limit. This is something that barely anyone factors in, and it absolutely should be part of your decision. If you claim Social Security before your full retirement age and you're still working, there's a cap on what you can earn without losing benefits. Right now, that's about $23,400 a year. For every $2 you earn above that, Social Security reduces your benefit by $1. If you're 62 and still in your peak earning years, maybe running a business, consulting, holding down a good job, this can eliminate your entire benefit for a year or even 2. Most people don't realize this, and they get a nasty surprise when they file and find out they can't actually access the money. Second, you're locked into a 30% permanent reduction. There's no making it back up. You can't reclaim and get a do-over. If you live to 85, 90, 95, you've given up hundreds of thousands of dollars. The break-even point where you've recovered what you would have received at 67 is around age 80. If you're reasonably healthy and your family has longevity, claiming at 62 starts looking like a mathematical loss. Third, if you're married, your decision doesn't just affect you. Your spouse's survivor benefit is based on what you would have received. If you claim early and reduce your benefit by 30%, your surviving spouse gets 30% less if something happens to you. That's a real risk you're taking with someone else's financial security. And if you're not currently working but drawing from your investment portfolio, claiming at 62 might seem like the obvious choice because you get immediate cash. But here's where it gets interesting. You still have portfolio assets and they're still growing. If you don't claim until 67, you're letting that portfolio work for 5 more years while your benefit amount grows. Depending on your asset allocation and your returns, That 5-year growth might actually give you more total income in retirement than the immediate access would. It depends on the numbers. It depends on your situation. But there are genuine reasons to claim at 62, and I don't want to dismiss them. First, you get immediate cash flow. If you've lost your job, if your health is not great, if you want to retire today and you've got the financial cushion to do it, claiming at 62 gives you money in your pocket right now. Social Security was designed as insurance, not as a pure investment. If you use it when you need it, that's not a mistake. That's what it's there for. Second, there's the portfolio pressure argument. If you have a substantial portfolio and you're looking at a long retirement, leaving that portfolio untouched for 5 more years while you take Social Security instead might actually reduce your tax burden and let your portfolio compound more efficiently. You need to run the numbers with someone who understands your whole picture, but it's not crazy. Third, and this is real, if you have reason to believe you won't live into your 80s, claiming early and getting the money while you can is the rational choice. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. If your health situation suggests a shorter life expectancy, waiting for the delayed credits doesn't make sense. The whole formula assumes you'll live long enough to break even. If you won't, don't wait. Now let's talk about claiming at your full retirement age, around 67 for most of you. This is the middle ground, and it's where a lot of financial advisors land because it makes sense for a lot of people. Here's the pro side. You're getting 100% of your primary insurance amount. That's your full benefit, no reduction, no waiting. You've also likely moved past your peak earning years, so that earnings limit isn't biting you anymore. You can work if you want, but you're not being penalized for it. And there's a tax efficiency angle that people miss. Social Security income is taxed under a formula that's actually more favorable than withdrawals from a traditional IRA or a 401k. If you're trying to manage your tax bracket carefully in retirement, taking Social Security at full retirement age and letting your tax-deferred accounts continue to grow can be a smart tax strategy. You're not getting the 8% bonus that you would get at 70, but you're also not taking the 30% hit that you would at 62. It's a balanced approach. For a lot of people, claiming at 67 is just the right call. You're not racing against the clock. You're not trying to maximize something you might not live to enjoy. You're getting a solid, full benefit and moving forward. The con side? It's not maximized. You could get 124% at 70 instead of 100% at 67. And if you're someone with a long family history of longevity, those 8 years of 24% extra benefit add up. By the time you're 90, you've made back the delay. It's also not immediate. If you want to stop working and have cash flow right now, 67 is later than 62. And here's something that doesn't get enough airtime. If you have a shorter life expectancy, if your health is good but your family history suggests you'll be gone by 80, full retirement age might still not be worth the wait. You need to be honest about your longevity outlook. Now, age 70. This is where things get really interesting, and this is where most people make a mistake by not even considering it. If you wait until 70 to claim, you're getting 124% of your primary insurance amount. Let me put this in concrete terms. If your PIA is $2,000 a month, claiming at 62 gets you $1,400. Claiming at 67 gets you $2,000. Claiming at 70 gets you $2,480 a month for 30 years. That's a difference of $432,000 in total benefits by the time you're 100. And if either you or your spouse lives longer than that, you've come out substantially ahead. But there's more to it than just the amount. Claiming at 70 opens up a tax planning window that people don't think about. Between 67 and 70, you're going to need income. If your portfolio is in tax-deferred accounts, you've got options. You can do Roth conversions, moving money from a traditional IRA to a Roth. paying taxes on it now at a lower rate than you'll pay later. If you claim Social Security early, you're in a higher tax bracket, and those conversions don't make as much sense. But if you wait, you've got a window to do some smart tax planning. Most people don't realize this is even an option. Here's another angle: longevity protection. Let's say you live to 95. The difference between claiming at 62, at 67, and at 70 is hundreds and hundreds of dollars a month, for years and years. That's money you can't outlive. That's inflation protection. Social Security is indexed to inflation, so as you age, your purchasing power is protected in a way that a fixed portfolio can't guarantee. And if you're married, this becomes even more important. Your spouse's survivor benefit is based on your benefit. If you claim at 70 and you have the maximum benefit, your surviving spouse is protected with the maximum survivor benefit. If you claim at 62, they're getting 30% less. For someone who depends on you, that's a big deal. Most people don't realize that they're not just deciding for themselves, they're deciding for their surviving spouse, too. The cons of waiting until 70 are real, though. First, it's delayed gratification. You're working longer or drawing down your portfolio longer. That's a real cost. The cost of not being able to fully retire when you want to. If retirement is your goal and you can't wait, waiting until 70 might make you miserable. Second, there's the portfolio drawdown risk. If you don't claim until 70 and you're relying on your portfolio for income, you're drawing it down for 8 more years. Depending on your asset allocation in the markets, that could be a significant hit to your total retirement wealth. You need to run a Monte Carlo simulation, a projection of your portfolio under various market scenarios, to see if that really makes sense for you. And third, there's the blunt truth. You might not make it to 70. If you die at 68, you've given up years of benefits and gotten nothing in return. Your heirs get your portfolio, but you've delayed claiming when you could have had the money in your pocket. That's a real risk, and you have to be honest about your health and your family history. Here's what I want you to understand about all 3 of these options. It's not just about you. If you're married, your benefit decision affects your spouse's survivor benefit, potentially for decades. A surviving spouse could receive up to 100% of your benefit amount if you wait until 70. They could receive 70% if you claim at 62. That's a 30% difference in what might be their only income source if something happens to you. You have to factor that in. It's also not just about math. If you're going to be miserable working 2 more years to wait for full retirement age, or 3 more years to wait for maximum benefits, that's not optimal, even if the math says it should be. Your quality of life matters too. You need to balance the numbers with what actually makes sense for your life. Here's what I want you to do. Sit down with a financial advisor who understands your complete picture. Your health, your family longevity, your portfolio, your ongoing income, your spouse's situation if you're married, your tax bracket, your goals for retirement. Don't just follow a rule of thumb. Don't let someone tell you that 67 is always right, or that 70 is always right. Run the actual numbers for yourself. And here's the thing most people don't realize. There's often no single right answer. There are multiple reasonable answers, and the question is which one fits your life best. Some of you should claim at 62. Some should wait for full retirement age. Some should go all the way to 70. The fact that you're thinking about this deeply, the fact that you're trying to understand the variables, that puts you ahead of most people. This is one of the biggest financial decisions of your retirement. Take the time to get it right.